What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade coming to you all with that playoff prediction analysis instantly on Analysis Playground going live on there on YouTube exclusively. And we're going to talk about the matchup that was made tonight. The Memphis Grizzlies are taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder in a best of seven series. And I'm excited for it because I think that this is going to be a good matchup. I think, honestly, every single matchup in the Western Conference is going to be fun and it's going to be amazing to watch and it's going to give us something to enjoy, especially if the teams can stay healthy. Other than that, let's get into it and talk about the Thunder, who will have home court advantage throughout the entire playoffs because they had the better record than any team in the entire league with 68 wins and 14 losses. They don't play around. They are all about their business and they want to get out of this round as fast as they can. The biggest problem with that is Memphis ain't that bad themselves and they match up actually real well against a team like Oklahoma City. Now, I will always say this team is really tough to guard because it's hard to stay in front of Shea. So I'm going to start that with the MVP to a lot of people this year. The man is already having a fantastic career at his young age of 26 and he want to add on to that and he wants to lead his team out of the first round like he did last year, but he wants to have more success. And he proved that in the regular season. I have gotten better. I'm still going to continue to put the work in, and I want to be as dominant as I can be. And they don't really have a guy that can slow down Shea. I don't think nobody has a guy like that on their roster. He's just too good. He's just too smart, and he just knows how to get to his spots. And if he doesn't have it, he has guys like Lugans Dort that can make a shot, Chet Holmgren that can make a shot, Isaiah Joe that can make a shot, Casey Wallace can make a shot, Aaron Wiggins can make a shot, and of course, Jalen Williams can make a shot for him and even put the ball on the floor and make it for others. And I think that that's what they're going to need to do. It's not a secret. It's something that they have done at a high level. We're going to also see what they're going to do with Alex Caruso. He was supposed to be their big pickup along with Isaiah Hartenstein. And Hartenstein has been more of a guy that benefited from the system that Oklahoma City plays in. He can hit the little floater shot. He can get all the way to the basket and just dunk it. He also is a guy that sets good screens and he allows them to play double bigs so that way they can rebound the ball at a high level on both ends of the court. And I also think that they have some guys that can just throw at other teams like Memphis. They got Desmond Bane. They got John Morant. You got to stay in front of them. You got to make it tough for them to be able to turn those corners. You got to make it tough for them to get to the rim because they can't hit floaters. They can get to the free throw line. So you got to be very disciplined. You got to think with your head and always be prepared for the worst because this team is relentless in how they attack you. But Caruso is going to be important because if anybody gets in foul trouble, he can still come on the court and play some great defense. He's smaller than some of these guys, but he also is a highly competitive guy. He has won a championship before. He knows what it takes. And he has, a really good understanding of how to play the game of basketball as a guy that spaces the floor, or he can put the ball on the floor and get to the rim too. Or you can just be a guy that you just put it in there just because he can give you great quality minutes anytime that is needed. Lugan's Dort defense is going to be huge. He already knows that. John Moran is one of the toughest guys to stop, but sometimes he can be a little predictable and you can just force him to take tough shots. And if he does that or he lives on the perimeter, you've done your job. You got to pick your poison. The better players are always going to challenge you. They're going to always make it tough, but that's your job to know what they want to do and how to stop them as much as you can. It's hard to do, but that's your job if you're a defender, and that's your job as a starter. Chet Holmgren, he's going to need to be physical. Like I said, he can use that length and that size to get rebounds. He can use that length and that size, to his advantage because he is taller than Jaren Jackson. So he should be able to use that for that reason. And they can get Zach Edey out of that paint too because of Chet. You want that to happen because Zach Edey is just a big body. So he's going to force you to finish over the top. He's going to force you to take floaters. He's going to force you to pass up shots. You don't want to always do that, but having a guy that can hit a mid range, having a guy that can make a three only really helps this team. And I think Chet will be really good for that. And Isaiah Hartenstein, he's a guy that rather set the screens on the perimeter, and he's going to try to find a way to keep Zach Edey in that paint. When we do that, I like the floater more than I like getting all the way to the basket sometimes, or I can just force you to step up a little bit, then I can get a little sneaky dunk in there. Um, I think that the biggest thing is Jalen Williams. Will he be a guy that can literally set the world on fire? Like, you know that Shea going to get a lot of double teams, possibly even if they play on man to man, he's going to do his job. Will Jalen Williams show up? Like, will he get 20 plus points? Is what I'm saying. Each and every night that they need him to. He's an all-star this year. We know he's one of the better players. We know that he can handle the ball. We know that he can score, but he has to do it efficiently. He can't just be chucking up shots, just trying to find a way to help. He has to be a guy that's confident. He has to be a guy that's ready, in that role of we need you to be a bucket each and every night, no days off. And that's what you have to do if you want to be great and if you want to beat the best teams in the league. I think the same thing about Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins, like I mentioned before. They have to be able to score. They have to be able to keep the ball moving, and they have to be able to defend when they come right on that court, prepared. Because Jaren Jackson is the only guy that you probably don't fear as much, but you also have to pay attention to Luke Kennard. He's a guy that can hit mid ranges, he can hit threes, he can handle the ball and play make a little bit too. So you definitely want to make it tough on him. You definitely want to make it tough on Desmond Bain. You definitely want to make it tough on John Morant. Like I said, even when the starters go out, they have guys that can do that, and I think that that's going to be the most important thing, is just giving them a bunch of bodies, making them really try hard, and really making them frustrated as much as you can. And I think they actually have the ability to do that. I don't know what they're going to do with Ken Rich Williams. I know he's going to be able to do things offensively. I don't know what they're going to really do with him defensively, because you want your best defenders always on those guys. Because if you can stop them or you can make it tough on them, you basically win this series easily. And that should be your goal, is to win it as fast as you can, even if you respect your opponent. But they have a lot of good role players. They have a lot of good wings, and they have a lot of guys that can really do, tough decisions and tough things for you to be able to balance out the flow of the game for you offensively or defensively. So Brandon Carlson, I think that he might even get minutes just just to give these guys a rest. He might play 10 minutes just because he's a good quality role player that understands what he's supposed to do out there. Other than that, if somebody else get playing time or somebody else get a situation where they get on the court, I just don't think they're going to do a crazy amount of things. But I do feel like this team is complete. I do feel like this team is ready, and I do feel like this team is going to be, the toughest one to beat in the Western Conference. But Memphis, they got some things that's really going for them too. Um, they have always been a tough out in the playoffs, but they've shown that they're beatable, and that's why they're the eighth seed. They had a good record, they had a good season. They showed that they had fight in them when they played against Dallas. They showed that they're a step above a team like Dallas. So Oklahoma City got to be ready for guys like Santi Dama. The guy is really good. He's going to continue to space the floor and put the ball on the floor when he needs to get to the rim or get to that floater range, which he might do more in this series because the bigs that the Oklahoma City Thunder have, like I mentioned, Desmond Bain is just on a torching spree. The man is handling the ball. He's literally finding ways to navigate in the paint, outside the paint, in the pick and roll. And he's also giving the ball up early if he doesn't like the shot, and guys can make shots because of that. But Ja Morant, he's going to have a big series. He really is. Like, he's going to have to find a way to be superhuman for them to be able to beat and upset the Oklahoma City Thunder besides Desmond Bain. And obviously their other running partner in the big three is Jaren Jackson. I don't think he's going to have too much of a problem in this series because he's always going to get the best looks. He understands that he just needs to make the open three. He just needs to get out and transition if he has the ability to. And he just needs to take his time and get to that push shot, and he'll just be fine. I think Jaren Jackson, they have guys that can throw at him. They have guys that can make it tough, but his game is so easy and is always getting benefits off mismatches. I don't think that changes in this series. He just need to be patient and get to his spots, and he'll be fine. Zach Edey, I think he's just as important as Jaren Jackson because he can be a double-double, but the main thing is those offensive rebounds, just being a Goliath in that paint, just grabbing as many as he can, going straight up, getting guys in foul trouble. and just being a guy that can always be a dump off target too. So it hurts you if you don't pay attention to him or you leave his body. He can make you pay for that, and that's what he's going to continue to try to do. Like I said, Luke Kennard for Memphis, he's going to be big for them. They need to shooting, they need the ball handling, they need somebody that can be a threat out there that can also make plays. I think he's going to be big for them too. Scottie Pippen Jr. will also be big. I don't even know if they might start him because he can hit shots, he can make plays, and he can defend. And that's somebody that you can throw on Shea or throw on Lugan's door and just keep them, neutralized as much as possible. But other than that, guys like G.G. Jackson and Vincent Williams might play a small role and make some shots here and there. But when it comes to a series, you want your best players on the court as much as possible to give you the best chance of winning and give you the best chance of executing what you want to do as a coach and as a team. And since we know that, I think that that's something that Memphis is going to have to do. What is they really going to do in all four quarters that can really work against the Oklahoma City Thunder? What can they really do besides pick and roll and besides trying to find a way to get a one up head speed going to the basket to get a floater or a layup? When you got Edie in that paint and you got Jaren Jackson at the 3-point line, it makes it seem like you can score every single time. But them Thunders, they're disruptors. They're going to go for the steals. They're going to rotate. They're going to try to cut off this and cut off that. And it's going to be tough for those options that you really want. John Morant, I really don't want to shoot this jumper. I really don't want to take this three. But if they're going to defend me like that, I'm going to have to do it. That's why I'm saying I like Desmond Bane, because the man can hit a three off a screen like that. The man can pull up like that. The man can hit a floater like that. The man can get to the free throw and knock him down like that. John Morant is questionable with that. He's going to get his 20, but will it be hard? Because when we watched Dallas, he was like 7-24 or something like that. It wasn't an efficient game. It wasn't a dominant game. He just had the ability to take a lot of shots and have a good impact on the game, because that do create opportunities for your teammates if they want to switch or they want to guard him one-on-one. If he blows past a guy, he's getting either a guy in foul trouble or he can just try to score. And if he doesn't, he can always kick it out if he sees somebody else. That's the best part of John Morant. That's his best strength, is his driving ability. But if they cut that off and keep him in front of him, he's going to have a tough time getting quality looks and looks that actually hurt, the Oklahoma City Thunder, even defensively. But I'm going, in my opinion, in my prediction, I'm going to go and say OKC in 5. I think Memphis is going to have that game where they're going to show that we belong here. We're going to show we're not giving up. We're not going to quit. We're going to fight. And even though they have the requisite talent to be able to beat the Grizzlies easily when it comes to guard play defensively and shutting those guys down and making them work for each and every bucket that they're trying to get, you also got to don't forget about those bigs. Like, those bigs have been huge in the playing games, and they will be huge in this series. You have to respect them. You have to guard them. You have to be ready for them, and you have to be paying attention the whole 24 seconds. And if they don't, then Memphis probably get a game off of them. If they do all that every single game, they probably just sweep them. We don't know what's going to happen. It's just fun to talk about. It's fun to predict. It's fun to have fun just dreaming about it in your head until it comes to reality, this weekend. But other than that, I'm picking OKC in 5, and I just feel like they have the better matchup. They can make it tough on the perimeter guys. The perimeter guys make it easier for the bigs. And if you can make them just score first guys, it's going to be John Moran and Desmond Bane trying to beat you. And if you have that, you want to slow them down, make it tough, then they just going to be inefficient. And they end up finish it. It gives you chances to run in transition. It gives you the ability to have more possessions. And you just take care of the ball and you value them and you make sure you're getting the best shot that you can get as a team. I feel like a team like OKC, they do have problems sometimes getting quality offense outside of Shea, creating opportunity just like John Moran does for his team. But that's what Jalen Williams have to do. That's what Desmond Bane's going to have to do. But other than that, Chet Holmgren, Harris Side, and them other guys are just a tad bit better than the role players of a team like Memphis. I like what they can do. I like what they have done, but I just feel like OKC defense is just a step above the one from Memphis, and defense does matter. They say defense wins championships, and that has been something that we have known and heard our entire lives, whether we was living or whether it was going on in their eras before us, and then we heard it after. But I do feel like the defense is the key, and OKC plays better defense, and that's going to be the reason why they locked this team up enough to be able to get it done in 5. Other than that, comment, like, subscribe, and share. Hit the notification bell for more analysis. And if you're new to the channel, I do conversation videos just like this in various different NBA only topics. I also do breakdowns with real footage of legends, current legends, rookies, and all the future stars. I also do mock drafts and draft coverage of the collegiate players getting into the league. And I also would say thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for checking it out. Thank y'all for continuing to stay subscribed and continue to support me, whether it was the beginning when I started or until now, or just doing it continuously throughout the years. I appreciate y'all. I love it. Thank y'all for loving the content for what it is. And thank y'all for continue to bless me. I want to be a blessing to y'all. So stay focused, lock in on your goals. Also stay positive as much as you can. Don't let the beginning of your day or the middle of your day or the end of your day be ruined by something else. Got to keep your head up and keep grinding. It's the weekend again. Let's continue to grind. This entire weekend, let's continue to grind each and every day that we can and we live. That's what we need to do as people, and that's what we got to continue to do in general. Other than that, y'all stay blessed up. Let's continue to try to make 2025 the best year, especially better than 2015. I think I can step it up. I've been proving that the last 4 months this year. So let's do it for the whole entire year. And that's what I want to do. And that's my goal. That's my plan for this channel. So now y'all know, like, y'all been new. Other than that, thanks for watching. Stay blessed up. I'll be going for now. I'll be back with the Eastern Conference, Cleveland versus Miami next. So stay tuned for that. See y'all later, hopefully.